Do you ever feel like your body is always under everyday stress? When your system stays in constant overdrive, it can throw off the way you digest, rest, and think. That's because your body's communication line, the vagus nerve, helps regulate balance between your brain, gut, and immune system. When that connection is strained, it can affect your sense of calm, energy, and overall well-being. That's where pHix comes in. Formulated with our unique matured hop extract, pHix is designed to support healthy vagus nerve activity, helping your body shift from fight or flight to a more relaxed, balanced state. By promoting this natural balance, pHix helps support digestive comfort, mental clarity, relaxation, and metabolic health, so you can feel centered, focused, and at ease. pHix provides targeted support to help your body reset and restore.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's Chris here from the Whistle Stop Cafe in Mirror, Alberta. I was just perusing a book that my friend Benoit wrote. Benoit Trudeau. He's one of the good Trudeaus, by the way. It's called Enough, Alberta's Roadmap to Constitutional Assertion. Through my journey in the last, I would say, 5 years, which is a very short period of my life, there's some things that I've discovered that I should have been paying attention to a long time ago. And a lot of it revolves around the word sovereignty. So some of you may be here because you found yourself on a page that I created called the Sovereign Health Project. And basically what that's about is understanding that who we are, our experiences, our health, our wealth, they're not anybody else's fault or business. They're ours. And when we start learning and we accept that we are sovereign in that way and we can take control of those things, our life can change. Specifically with our health. We've been taught for our entire lives that health is going and getting a pill from the doctor, right? And it just so happens that over the last 5 years, the government really showed their cards, and they showed us without a shadow of a doubt that it was not our health that they were concerned with. And when I realized that, it made me think, if somebody else isn't taking care of my health, what do I have to do to be healthy? And so my way of thinking changed. It changed with the way I think of my finances as well. Is it the government's fault that there's a policy or tax that's infiltrating my bank account? Well, no, that would make me a victim, and I'm not a victim. I'm a sovereign human being, and therefore I need to take control of these things. So when my friend George, he presented a product to me that could help me take sovereign control over my health by helping my body do what God created it to do, I jumped at the opportunity. Since then, I've actually brought a number of people to the team. And I'm at a point now where I'm starting to hear the testimonials from people that are using this product. And it's a matured bitter hop acid extract. We're going to talk a little bit about it in a moment when we bring the guest on. But because of the results people are having, and because of the results I've been having, I'm sharing this product. And all of a sudden, I'm becoming sovereign with my wealth. I'm generating wealth by sharing something that's helping people to take control of their own health. And, saying it that fast, kind of, you lose the significance of that type of opportunity, helping people become sovereign over their health, and you're building wealth at the same time. Now, up until a month ago, I would have never talked about this stuff because I didn't believe in it. But I have seen the light, so to speak, and the light is basically digits in my bank account because it actually works. So tonight's webinar, we're going to be talking with my new friend, Tere Kampe, and he's going to be explaining to you folks how that part of this, sovereign health project and my journey with Marketplace Global and matured bitter hop extracts, he's going to be explaining how that works and how you can do it. And the reason I wanted to do this webinar is because there's a number of people that I have on my team now, and they're just as excited as me about this, and they want to share it. And maybe we're not all outgoing people. We're not all in the, we don't get out and try and share stuff like this. So when we have somebody who can help us do that and explain the mechanisms behind the potential of wealth creation in something like this, it's an important topic, and we need to talk about it. So rather than listening to me ramble on and on and on, let's bring Tere on, and he can start. We'll just get right into it, because we got him for about an hour, maybe a little bit more. So we're going to squeeze as much information out of him as you can. Sorry about the long intro, Tere. I didn't actually mean to do that, but just happened. So welcome to the.
It was great. I love the term sovereign. That's a good word. I'm over here just like, yeah, that's it. Like it. Personal sovereignty, public sovereignty. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. One of the founding principles of my Sovereign Health Project page is that us human beings, we were created with intent, with purpose, according to a plan, and our bodies were created purposely to deal with the things we need to deal with. And if we start there and we understand that we are important and sacred and we're created by an intelligent, loving God, all of a sudden, the things that he brings us become much more relevant to the conversation. And for me, in particular, that's where pHix and the matured bitter hop extracts come in, because I've learned that plants are not an alternative medicine. They're actually the original, and we can do some amazing things with that. So before we get in too much into it, do you want to just do a quick intro, who you are, what you do, why you're here, and what you want to, why you're willing to help people with this type of stuff?
Sure. Yeah. So again, Tere Kampe. I live in Las Vegas area. I happen to be a pastor. Been a pastor for about 8 years. Been an entrepreneur now for coming up on 16 years. Tried to be an entrepreneur 10 years before that, but I couldn't figure out how to make money as an entrepreneur. So I kept my employee status while I figured all that out. And I've been around this, what people know as the direct selling industry, since I was 8 years old. One of the very unique things with that perspective is very, very early in life, I got to see people that had this thing called residual income, and it gave them freedom in their life. What I mean by that, Chris, is that they got to stop exchanging time for money. And I got to see my dad get up every day and go to work. All my friends' dads did the exact same things back in the 70s. And I just watched that happen, and everybody lived kind of the same life. And then, so my dad joined a company back in the day, and it was in watching him do what he did, because he wanted to spend more time with his family. All that was needed with that was the ability to create income separate from the job income. And as long as he could do that, he could stay home, which is what he wanted to do, is spend time with his family. It was a great goal. For me, as a teenager at the time, I didn't get that. I didn't understand that they didn't make a lot of money, but he had his freedom. And man, freedom is a currency, gang. It is when you have your freedom, it is a big deal. And so I got to watch, Chris. I got to watch these people who had that, and all of a sudden, I got to compare early on. And I was like, wow, that's way better way to live than what I'm seeing over here with the people that go to a job. I'm not knocking jobs. I'm just saying there is a freedom that can come. And so that got planted in me very, very early in life. Now, it took me 35 years to be able to figure out how to do it and do it successfully. I had to find the right vehicle. I had to grow. I had to learn, just like you were talking about. A month ago, you wouldn't be doing this. But what happened? You learned some things. You saw some things. You got some new information. And now you can make different decisions. That is what was happening to me. And it just took a long, long time for me to grow into that. So then I got very passionate about helping other people get residual income, a passive income that hits your bank account every single week that you don't got to go hunt down every single day. Why? Because now if we have that in our life, we can pursue what we are passionate about simply because we're passionate. not because we're going to go get paid. And that was a totally different way to live. And so I became like psychotic about trying to help people who wanted that to get that. And we had that. It was fantastic. It was in the travel space that we figured that out. Unfortunately, when COVID was launched on us, that whole thing died. If there was an industry you didn't want to be in at that time, travel was it. So there it all went bye-bye. Everything we had built for 10 years was gone. We literally spent 4 years floundering, trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do now? At the time, I was 58, 59, and I just did not expect that to be my life. On to 60 years old, and I'm trying to figure out anything that can create residual income. And there's just not that many things out there that do that. And lost a lot of money trying to figure it out. And, and we were borrowing money, and I was just trying to get through the year. And then we got scammed out of the last bit of money that we did have in April of 2020. Well, in March of 2024. So this is not 2 years ago now. Literally, I took a picture of my bank account because I was like, how did we get here at 60 years old, man? This is not what I expected my life to look like. And praise God, our company was introduced to this matured hop bitter acid that you mentioned. And since that time, I'm just telling you, our life has radically changed, particularly from a financial standpoint. I mean, radically. And I can't say the incomes because it would be construed as enticement, so I don't want to do that, but I will just say it this way. My wife went to work in April of 2024 for a casino in the Las Vegas area in the marketing department for a normal kind of American salary, for an annual salary. Not just, you can go Google it if you want. What's the normal average American salary? And we, for the last 20 months or so, have made more than that weekly. So what we are going to share tonight can radically change lives, Chris. There is a way we do it. There's a way that it works. You have to participate in your own rescue. That is 100% real. But it's having a vehicle that allows for it, having a system that leverages your time and your talents, that causes that to work. It's having products that are not only what people are looking for, but we actually work in what I believe is now the largest industry in the world, the wellness space, Chris. Last year, almost $7 trillion spent.
That's a big
and
number.
The wellness is basically alt big pharma. These are people that have left big pharma. No more. I don't trust the doctors anymore. Maybe they trust. I'm not. That's a strong word, but what people want is wellness. They want health naturally. And you said it. I'm a pastor. Okay. God gave us everything we need in nature, and those plants and veggies, those things contain a lot of things that we can utilize to keep ourselves healthy if we give our bodies the right thing. The challenge is, because of what's happened with big food and big pharma colluding over the last 30 years, that gets people sick and overweight early in life. And what do? Then they run over to big pharma looking for a drug, a prescription to fix the symptom. But the root is what's going on inside. And so this is what pHix has done, as you've kind of alluded to. And because we're in this time frame where we've got these wellness products, 100% natural. All these wellness products are perfectly positioned for the trend that's happening. $7 trillion industry expected to go to 10 trillion by 2030. We are perfectly positioned for that particular opportunity. The timing of that, we have those exact products. And this, I'll stop with this, but I go on for a long time. Part of what we've done here is by design, meaning what we built, the marketplace model where we can just keep adding products in, and man, wait till you see what we launch next month. Holy cow. And so we've got that piece of it, but and the comp plan that we pulled together, which we'll touch on tonight, all that's by design. But we've also got things happening here by divine. And when you talk about that matured hop bitter acid, that fell in our laps. That was God's blessing on our company. I kid you not. We were not looking for it, didn't know about it. It found us, praise God. What we're about to roll out in March is the same thing. We got it again. no reason we should have this, but we do. And so these are both products, and we've got a whole marketplace of products that are all natural, 100% natural, that are right in that wheelhouse, Chris, of the people that are looking for that right now. And so they do tremendous things into and for the body, because it's what the body is looking for to get itself healthy. And so anyway, that's a long dissertation, probably more than you were asking for when you said, hey, tell us about your stuff.
No, that's great.
Yeah,
that's good. I'm really glad that you mentioned about how you were in a travel thing, because one thing that they'll say is, oh, there's thousands of these types of structured companies, and everyone says they're going to make money. And then what happens when COVID comes and you shut down travel? Well, think about this, folks. If your product is something that is a foundational health item, or not a supplement, not a drug, not a supplement, but something that puts your body in a state where it can do the things it needs to do, that is it's recession proof. It doesn't matter if you're traveling. It doesn't matter if there's a global pandemic and the governments are being dumb and trying to force pharmaceutical interventions down our throats. All of those things put us folks in a space where we're looking for something to take control of our own health. So it's the most important thing in anybody's life is their health. So that's what really attracted me to this in particular. And you kind of touched on a little bit, Terry, about the process and that. I'm not going to get into it too much because I really wanted to focus on the business side of this. If you folks want to know more about this, there's a little QR code up there. And no, I don't particularly like QR codes anymore, but there it is. That will take you to my webpage. On my webpage, whistlestoptruckstop.ca, you're going to find things like t-shirts for sale and gift certificates, because I have a business and I am a capitalist and I will earn every penny I can. But you're also going to find a blog section. In that blog section, I've written a number of articles on matured bitter hop extracts, what they are, what they do, the science behind it. I have lots of backup and references for what I've come up with. And I would invite you after this, if you're interested in what it is and how it works, go check that out, read about it. But for this webinar in particular, I want to really get into the weeds about how this can affect your wealth. And I'm smiling as I look at the comment section, Terry. I don't know if you can see it over there, but I have people on my team who are already, they've been 2-3 weeks and they're reporting things, and it's it's changing their lives, and that is absolutely amazing. So now it's time to get into the business side of it and the opportunity.
Yeah. I now see it. I had set the slide over. Okay, I see it now. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now you got me there. There's a comment there. What Marilyn Marsh, what we are going to roll out next month, you need to know. I'm just going to tell you, you must know about that product. Okay. And so, yeah.
And
okay,
Marilyn,
cool.
folks, Marilyn is asking about, she has Parkinson's, and she's asking if this will help with Parkinson's disease. We get questions all the time about, will this help with this, that? And do you want to just go through that real quick before we get into the other stuff, Terry?
So let me just say this, gang. Everybody's different, and every body is different. Okay. So what you've done to your body over the course of your lifetime is different than everybody else. And I liken it, Chris, to coffee. So I can drink coffee all day long. It has zero effect on me. Other people can drink a half a cup of coffee and they're wired. Same organic compound, different responses in the body. That is what happens with natural products, gang. And so everybody's different, everybody. And some people, I see a comment in here, some people will retain water. Why? Because if you have a lot of visceral fat that you're losing, toxins and fungus are stored up in that visceral fat. So when you start to burn it up, it starts to release the toxins. Well, guess what? Your body is going to retain water to dilute out those toxins. Why? So you don't get sick. So these things happen in the human body. And without diving too much into that, because I know we want to stay focused on the business side tonight, because there's lots and lots of information on our product and what it does to people. And technically, it doesn't do anything, just so we're clear. It doesn't do anything. However, what it is what's so important, because what it is starts the body's God-given response system to a bitter acid entering the body. And if you've ever had food poisoning, you know exactly how this works, because you got something called bitter receptors in your body, and those bitter receptors respond to bitter substances. And that's what happens every single time it works. Please go Google, go chat GPT, go find out for yourself. You watch what happens. And when we can move the vagus nerve into rest and digest, all kinds of amazing health benefits come from that. And that's ultimately what pHix is. And it kind of starts that body's process. It is great that we have a product like that and other natural products, because in all of that, if you stop and look and kind of peel the onion back, Chris, as to what our business is, we have a corporate entity, and the corporate entity, their job is to source, find, develop products that they can bring into our marketplace. Now, there have been companies like this for about 70 years that have done that. Our mission was to find unique products that didn't exist anywhere else. And the challenge with that is products that don't exist anywhere else don't exist anywhere else. So it's not just so simple to find those, which is why I was talking about when the matured hop bitter acid dropped in our lap. It was literally a godsend for us, literally. It was one of those products. It had never existed before in the history of the world for humans to consume. It didn't exist. We were the company to bring it to the market. We bought all the IP. We own the dirt. We own the hops. We do the fertilization. We do all of it, everything from start to finish. So we have that, and that was, again, a very unique situation. But the fact that we have that and no one else does is a great differentiator from a marketing standpoint. The fact that we make it is a differentiator. As a matter of fact, we make all but 2 of the products that we produce. That's a big deal. Why? Because it gives us stability. It gives us longevity, cost control, quality control. And most importantly, what most companies like ours do is they go find somebody else's stuff, say, hey, that's great stuff you got there. Could you put our label on it so we can call it ours? They white label it. And what they do is they buy it from that source, and then they pay them a profit margin, and then they get the product and call it theirs. We don't do that. It is ours. So what happens is we control the cost of goods sold, COGS, a whole lot better. And as a result, more of the revenue that comes in goes into our compensation plan. As a result, gang, we tend to pay out more than all other companies in the world in a very simple and a very rich compensation plan that literally pays people money every single week. And so this is one of as a pastor, my favorite topic to talk about is Jesus. As a business person, my favorite topic to talk about is our compensation plan and how simple and rich it is. So these are all things that matter. It's all about when you put it all together, great products that people want, like, and need that you can't get anywhere else at a time when the world is ready for those. And then we have a compensation plan that people can participate in and create a little bit of money or a lot of bit of money. It's just up to what each person wants to do, Chris. Hey, you're muted. I'm not hearing you.
Oh, how about now?
There we go.
Oh, oops, I must have bumped the button. I forgot to mention earlier, for those of you that were referred to this webinar by one of your friends who is already using pHix and building a team, if you want to sign up and you want to try this out, you want to get involved and build a team yourself, get back to that person. That's really, really important. I do these webinars for me and also for the people who are on my team, because they can bring people here and hear this information, and they're excited and they want to be part of it too. So very, very, very important to get in touch with the person who referred you to this. If you were referred by me or you're here because you're part of my page or my groups already, at the end of this, I will put a link in there for you to use. The other thing I want to mention, don't just Google it and then try and sign up like that, because what you're going to find is if you want to actually become a member, become an ISR, you're going to get into the weeds. You're going to buy some products at the retail price, and then you're going to come back later and say, hey, where's all this stuff? How do I do this? So you got to follow the steps, and I'll make sure that you guys have that link, or the person that referred you will get you their link. That's what I wanted to say about that.
Good.
So now we have this great product. We're seeing great results. I'm seeing great results with the people on my team. And if just Jane Doe is in the comment section and she's watching and she's thinking, well, I don't really, what if I don't know a lot of people? What if I don't have a big social media following? How do I build something with this when I'm not like a Chris or a Terry? What would you say to those people, Terry?
Yeah. Well, we have tools. This is one of the beautiful parts of what we do here. There are different things today. I mean, I'm over here in Australia right now. We were working with our team over here, and one of the people over here put together an AI bot, and literally it answers every question. An AI now, and we have an assistant in what we call ACE. It's a platform that anybody who is a rep has access to. It's all free. There's a paid version if you want that, but the free version is very, very good. So you can literally ask the assistant in there. It's AI. Hey, I have this friend who is a chiropractor, and how could I explain to them about pHix to create curiosity? And it'll put it all together. So literally today, Chris, it's a totally different thing than a lot of people know from the past because of the tools that we have available. We have what we call gems. It doesn't matter. It's a link. And in that link, there are overviews, there are testimonials, there's everything anybody wants. And then it's a matter of just getting that information. So you don't ever have to be the message. We are simply a messenger. Hey, I came across something that I'm very excited about. I think you would like this. Here's the link. Check it out. Or however that goes. And then in the link, everything is done for you. So we have taken care of everything, literally everything. I mean, and the thing that people still have to do is be willing to reach out to people. And if they don't know a lot of people, the reality is everybody knows 1,000 people by name by the time they leave high school. That's a fact. Now, that doesn't mean you think about them, but it would be important to start to think about who you actually do know. And as people want to participate here, if they get with the people that have brought them in or their line of support, they can help with those kinds of things. We got a lot of tools that will help people. So we've leveled the playing field, literally.
One of the great things about this particular product, and I've experienced this personally, I had some interesting and beneficial results. And so I wanted to share that. I was happy to share that with people. Then as I'm listening to what other people what their results are in my day-to-day interactions, I find myself being like, hey, what you're experiencing, that's caused by inflammation. And there is a way that your body can deal with inflammation if it's in the right state. Would it be worth trying? You just naturally want to have those conversations. I had a conversation with someone today, and of course, everybody does it. Nobody talks about it. The conversation went right to poop. It was, I've been taking Metamucil for years because I'm very irregular and it's uncomfortable, and I don't use it anymore. And I'm regular. And those types of testimonials, even though it's poop, those types of testimonials are what get people excited to try something like this, especially in a time when we are very hyper aware that our health care is less about our health and more about accessing our dollars through endless tax troughs, right? So people want solutions. They want to take control. And even if you don't know very many people, Terry, how many people, if you could take X amount of people and they were all excited and interested to share the product and build teams, how many people would you have to have on your team to start to actually make something of this? Like 1,000?
Well, my first answer to that is 4.
4?
Oh yeah. If I've got people that are ready to share with other people, 4 is what we're looking for. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, I've personally referred 81 people that have said yes to this over 42 months. Okay, that's not breaking records, gang. 81 people, 42 months. But of those, Chris, only 5. There are 5 of those 81 that I have built with. Yeah. And that's turned into 65,000 people as of today.
How many thousand?
65,000 on my team.
Good grief.
Yeah.
So everybody knows 4 people.
Yeah. So let me get into how that really works. And I want to be really clear because I saw a comment in there. This is not about weight loss. Okay. That is not what we are doing here. Really important. Everybody understands this. This is about health. This is about wellness. This is about healing your body from the inside, which is why so many people say yes, because just like you were saying, Chris, you shared your results with other people, but they get their own result. What happens to me is irrelevant. I don't base my enthusiasm on this based on my results. I'm a very, 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 very healthy 62-year-old guy. I got zero health issues going on. So I didn't expect anything to happen from a, health standpoint. I was happy to lose some, 5.5% body fat. I was happy to gain 9 pounds of lean body mass. That was good. But that's just my result. I base it on the masses. And I know that the masses, every human being has a vagus nerve. Heck, a lot of animals have a vagus nerve, and they all get help with it too. So it does what it does because the body is wired the way it is. But that's what we're talking about today is the money side of this. So we have all of that information. But for those of you who may want more sovereignty in your life, more control, more freedom in your life, because you have the finances that take care of all of the stuff of life, I would suggest this. And this is where I start with everybody, Chris. Think about your residual bills that you have every single month. House, mortgage, rent, car payment, utilities, all the different things, okay? Loans, whatever it is. Your residual bills, whatever that number is. If we could help you get a residual income $1 more than those residual bills every month, you start to get some freedom in your life. Whew, those are taken care of. Now, there's another number, another income that people look at as what we refer to as a lifestyle income. I want to travel. I want to do this. I want to give my money to missions. I want to do whatever. Okay, that's another thing. But if we could just talk about the first number, predominantly for people all over the globe, I mean, it's a different number, but if it was $5,000 per month that somebody needs, $5,000 US. Up in Canada, that would be whatever, like 4,000
like
US.
150,000 or something, yeah.
And so if we could help people generate that amount of money, then people just need to know. And if people are like, wow, that would be fantastic. The great part about our compensation plan is we know exactly what it takes to do that. Exactly. And so one of the things that I love about our comp plan, it's incredibly simple, very simple. There are only 2 components to it because we don't have special bonuses. You don't have to stand on your head during the full moon to get some special bonus. We don't do any of that. It's very simple. And what we have are 2 communities, if you will. Now, it's not this, but if you think about it this way, you have an Instagram community and a Facebook community. And I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just giving you a metaphor. And you went out to your Instagram community and said to some, shared with some people, hey, are you interested in some health benefits like we're talking about right here? Then you got some people on your Instagram community that say yes, and some people in your Facebook community that say yes. Okay, great. We share that with those people. We know that if you have about 75 people in each of your communities as time goes on, that income is going to be around $1,000 a month, $800 a month, in that range. And so we know that. So if we just go put those people in, that's going to be the result. Now, that's not you putting 75 people in on each team. That's you maybe sharing this with 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 people, whatever that is, becoming that number because other people share with other people. And it's just a very simple process. Every $100 that's created, what does that mean? So I have on, just keeping it really real, that 81 people has turned into, on my left team, 29,000 people, and on my right team, 36,000 people. That's what's happened. Now, think about this for a second. Every person that's ever joined, anything they buy, what they get value out of, the products they like, they buy that. And every month when they buy whatever product they get value out of, every $100 that's created by people buying what they want, every $100 matching with the $100, $100 in my Facebook community, $100 in my Instagram community, every time that happens, I get $20. It's 10% to infinite levels. Never stops. Now, Chris, you're a restaurant owner. True or false?
Yeah, true.
Is 10%, and I have zero idea on this question, but it would 10% total profit be a good deal in the restaurant industry?
Well, average in a restaurant is around 9%, so that'd be pretty darn good.
Okay, now here's the thing, gang. My overhead for that $100 in volume and $100 in volume is zero. Zero. My cost in is zero. So we get that and we have zero overhead. That's pretty darn good. I don't have employees. I don't have turnover. I don't have stock to deal with. I don't have any of that. That is when you can start to really create some things. So now it's about how many people can we help bring into our community for the people who like the products we have. And who are those people? The people who are part of the $7 trillion wellness industry. There's a few people out there that might be open to this. What was that, Chris?
Soon to be 10 trillion.
Soon to be 10 trillion. All right. Now, I don't know how many people that is, but it's more than 70, more than 150. So our goal, heck, Chris, you had 100 people join your team in the first month. So now all of a sudden we take that 100 and now how fast can we get it to 1,000? I mean, you got 1,000 people in, depending on how they're structured, but I won't get into that right now. With 1,000 people in, you're looking at like 30 grand a month, 30,000 US per month. That does not suck. And so these are the things we know can happen. And all we're doing is sharing natural products that actually work in human beings with friends and family, people that we know that want, like, and need those kinds of products. And with a $7 trillion going to $10 trillion industry, that's a lot of people. And we can do that not just in your city, not just in your country, but in countries around the globe, which is why I'm here in Australia, because we do that here while people are sleeping over there. My Australia team is sharing with other people. While the people here are sleeping, the people over there are sharing with other people. So you can do this and get paid 24/7. It's very, very simple. And what I just shared, Chris, is half of our compensation plan. $100 in volume generated by people buying their own things, matching with $100. You get paid $20 to infinite levels. It never, ever, ever, ever stops. For as many people as ever join, you get paid.
That it almost sounds too good to be true.
Oh.
What about, if there's 85,000 people already, how many more people could there be?
I'm sorry, I saw a comment in there that took me off. What was that?
Yeah. If there's 85,000 people roughly already using this one product, isn't that kind of like, aren't we saturated? Isn't there not much room for growth anymore?
Well, we were in our travel business we were there for 10 years, and there's 5 million people that joined that. And so and we have a travel platform literally that we give away for free, and we ran that as a business. So I'm pretty sure that we're just getting started. We're literally just past formulation, moving into concentration, and literally that's we haven't even started scratching. We've just been building the foundation for the last 3.5 years, truly.
The reason I wanted to point that out, folks, is because 85,000 people are in this right now.
Yes.
The United States has 360 million people. I would argue that probably the vast majority are concerned about their health in some way or another, especially considering one of the most chronic problems that North Americans have is inflammation caused by big pharma and big food. Canada, we're starting to realize the same thing. We're shifting the way we think. So that 85,000, that's like, Terry, I think you hit the nail on the head there. That's just scratching the surface.
We're just scratching.
So when, I'm not saying if, I'm saying when people start to get onto this, that's a very, very big opportunity for people.
It's massive. And over the next month, 3 weeks to 4 weeks, we're rolling out yet another product that will be bigger than pHix. It will be more global than pHix has been. And we are going to go from the 50+ million we did last year to well over 100 million this year, $500 million next year. And so that means a lot of people are going to be able to get sovereign in their life if they choose to. We're at that place right now. So we literally have it's that formulation, and we're just now into concentration. Then we go into momentum. That'll be another couple of years from now before we even get to momentum, which is when, literally that's when fortunes get made at that point. And so we built this for the long term. Our corporate staff, literally our company just blew out the walls in one production facility, added another one, brought on new C-level people, invested in new technology, opened up a new country. We've got other countries opening up here this quarter. And so we're literally just getting started, literally. And it's the time. Then the formulation stage is when the pioneers come. Not everybody's a pioneer. What do I mean by that? Some people need to have it perfect. They don't like messy. Well, that's not startup phase in any business. Let's be real. In any business, it's messy. It takes time to get into that, smooth water kind of a thing. But that's not the startup phase. Well, we've just come out of that. That's the beauty of it. And so it's for a lot of people, it's safer for them. It feels safer for them because there's not all of the disorganization. It was not that it was disorganization, but we've grown 400% year over year. 400. Now, think about that in a restaurant, Chris. If you grew 400% year on year, you probably need more employees for sure. You might need a second restaurant. You got expanded hours, whatever it is, for that kind of growth. It's not just so simple. And so we've already been through all of that, and we're on the backside of that. So it's a great time to be joining us.
I agree. One of the things that I've always found is a little bit of a hurdle is getting people past their previous experience with any type of affiliate marketing programs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that they've had high hopes to make something work and haven't been able to do it. And now some are saying, well, I just never want to do it again. What do you have any advice or something to say for that kind of thing?
Oh yeah. So I've been around this industry since I was 8. All right. 8. I have watched people for 54 years in this industry do the same thing over and over and over. This 5+ decades, gang. So I've watched people who come in with hopes and dreams and aspirations and a vision for a different life, and they come in and go out a lot. And what I noticed, Chris, is most of the people want it to be easy. They want something to just work. And if it doesn't work in a week, a month, or whatever, they're done. I was with a family this past weekend, and the daughter in that family happens to be an artist, a musical artist. And I made the comment. I said, it's like people who are, phenomenal instrument players and phenomenal guitarists, as an example. Somebody hears a guitar, they go to a concert, they see the guitar, it's like, oh my gosh, I want to play guitar. And they run down and pick out a guitar, and they get home and they start trying to do their thing. And 5 or 10 minutes in, their fingers hurt. They put the guitar down and they never touch it again. Why? They had an imagined expectation, but they don't want to do the work to go be that. And this is a lot of this industry. People want it to be comfortable for them. They want it to just work the way they want it to, and it doesn't do that. It requires us reaching out to people. It requires us to put our social capital on the line. And what most people dislike is when people don't approve of what they're doing. They reject their idea. People struggle with that because we're in a culture where people really, really desire the approval of other people. And that doesn't fly in business. I just saw Nick Saban. He said, if you want to be a leader, if you want to make people happy, don't be a leader. Sell ice cream. Yeah. And Nick Saban he's a college football coach, one of the most successful ever. If you want to be a leader, or if you want to make people happy, don't be a leader. Sell ice cream. This requires leadership, and how we do it matters. How we help people get started. All those things matter, and we know exactly what to do. It's just applying yourself to start and then to grow through it. So most people, it's the internal battle that they struggle with. And my passion at this point, like it is a passion for me, because I came into this, I've had this experience, I've watched these people. I was that guy. I can't tell you, it was decades of failure, decades trying to grow a team and not work and all this stuff. I mean, I can go through the whole story. I won't do it right now. And when we finally got to what I would call success in the industry, where we had financial freedom for a minute, we had the residual income, we were traveling 130 days a year in the travel entity. And when that all went away, everything stopped. I mean, the pay, everything was gone in a heartbeat. And so I understand what that looks like too. And then we struggled for another 3-4 years after that. It was like, what in the heck? And so I get all of that. But what I also know is the work that had to be done, Chris, was here. It was here. And I had to grow me. I had to grow my leadership ability, my vision. And most people won't do those things, even though they can. It's not like it's reserved for just a few people. Anybody can do it. And so my passion today is literally to create an organization of like 100,000 people that are literally living life at the next level, stepping into who God really created you to be, getting past all the self-limiting beliefs, getting past all the fears, all the doubts, all the crap that people deal with. Somebody said you were, my wife lived with this. I mean, she's 4'10", 90 pounds. Yet when she was like 8 years old, a family member said she was fat. That has stuck with her for 55 years, man. And what does that mean? In her mind, she always sees herself as fat. The girl is nothing. She's nothing, but she sees herself that way. So that becomes her truth. And we get that stuff. Every one of us have people that have spoken into us. We've had failures in our life. We've done things that didn't work out. And when you start to allow those things to become your identity, man, that is what we need to help people overcome. We need to help people step into who God created you to be. Who are you? You said it at the beginning, Scott or Chris. We have been created by a creator that is creative. Because we are been created in the image of a creator, we are creative ourselves. We can go create. You can let go of the past. You can move into who God created you to be. And we want to create an environment here where people are doing that, where we encourage people to become that next version of them, to become whatever it is you want to be. And we have this opportunity where we have these products at the right time in history that happen to fit into a huge space, the wellness space, and a comp plan that pays people really, really well to share those things. But what it simply does is creates sovereignty in our finances and in our health so that we can then go do what we're passionate about. That is what this ultimately is, at least for me. Now, that wasn't where I started, gang. Where I started was, I don't even believe these products are going to work, so I'm not going to tell anybody. That was me 3.5 years ago. So I understand where everybody comes in, Chris. What I want to tell everybody is all of these businesses are not created equal. They're not the same. Our comp plan is not the same as everybody else. I've touched on half of it. The $100 in volume and $100 in volume pays you $20. But we have a check match, which is unlimited. The income is unlimited. So every time, if I was the one that brought you in, Chris, every time you make $20, I get $4 as a match, 20%. And that just goes forever and ever and ever. If you make $10,000 a week in commissions, if I were the one that sponsored you, then I'm going to get $2,000 a week in commission and a check match. And our check match goes, it's 7 levels, 20%, 20%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 5, 5. And I'm just telling you, I've had 102 conversations with 6- and 7-figure industry earners. 100 of them have joined us. Why? Because of this conversation around the comp plan. When I explain how it all works and all the little components of it that are different than everything else, they're all in. So that was a long answer to your question, but I just want people to understand that you can win here if you want to. I look at it this way. If you've done other things, you've only been prepared. If you stop stepping up to the plate, you can't swing the bat. If you keep swinging the bat, you might miss a lot. But at some point, you're going to hit the ball. Every once in a while, if you just keep swinging, you get to hit a home run. We've tried really desperately to level the playing field here with the tools that we have, with the support that we have, and made that so that anybody can win if they choose to. And that's what we've seen happen, bro. And like we talked about, we are literally just getting started.
Well, it was a long answer, but that was really good. You mentioned social capital.
Yeah.
I've found that, there's people that I want to share stuff with, and now I'm excited because I've seen both sides, the health and the wealth part of it. And I get into talking about it, and one of the things it says is this one of those MLM things? And I'm like, I used to be kind of like apologizing for it and trying to explain it, and now I'm like, yeah, and that's why you need to look at this, because it's not just that, it actually works. It's a real thing. You're not trying to sell laundry soap and floor cleaner to people, things that don't make a huge difference in their life. Oh, there is good laundry soap. I got it, and it seems to be good. You're selling. It's something that people that can change the way they feel, and some people there are people whose lives have been changed simply by trying this. There's no question about that. There's a ton of people, even in our groups. Terry, your group is much bigger than mine, who have those types of stories. So yeah, I've stopped looking at it like that. And now when someone kind of brushes it off because it's of the structure and they've had a bad experience, I just leave it and I keep going and I keep doing what I'm doing, and I bring more people on board and I help more people. Those people bring people on board. And then when I go back, I'm like, oh, hey, you remember that stuff I told you about? Well, this is what's going on now. And I just keep on planting those seeds. And it seems to be working. And I really hope it does, because it's not just a thing that you want. It's something that everybody needs. And that's the point.
And I think, Chris, one of the things that there's two pieces to this. Number one, there are very, 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 very few opportunities in the world outside of MLM where you can start a business and start to create some significant income. MLM happens to be one of those things where, in our case, it's either $10 or $30 US to start, depending on what country you live in. And I mean, your restaurant costs more than $30 to start. It just, it's not even, it's nonsense, the kind of money that we're talking about. But that's not the issue. That's not the issue. The issue is this. And again, this is now 54 years of watching people. Here's the issue. A gal said it at our training over the weekend. Well, what do you say when people say, I don't want to be one of those people? Here's what they mean by that. They don't want to be the person that started something, didn't have success, and quit. Because that is what most people see from people in this industry. That's what because when you started your restaurants, when you started those, you had to put in probably more than $30. Am I right?
A little more, yeah.
A little more. So when you start, if I'm going to start a company and I kick in $100,000, I'm going to go look for the best people possible to help me run that company. But my $100,000 is on the line, so I don't think about it for a week and think, oh, wow, that didn't work out. I'm going to go try something else. I got $100,000 in now, not $30. So because it's easy to do here, it's easy not to do. And what happens is people, because they don't get success right out the gate, they have an imagined expectation about the people they're going to go talk to. When the reality doesn't meet their imagined expectation, they get discouraged. And this is the challenge. And so people then, they start, quit, and start to talk to a couple of people and then quit. And everybody looks at, quote unquote, this industry like, I don't want to be one of those people. What they don't do is look at the people that have had success, the people that have changed lives. How many people on my team alone, how many lives have been changed because I finally got to the point, listen, 22 months in, because I hadn't even believed it yet for me until 22 months in. Then when pHix rolled around, my belief changed. And when my belief changed, that translated to everybody else who started to join. And because of that, now we've got thousands and thousands of people whose lives are changing every single day from a health or a wealth standpoint. It's just about what you want, gang. And so this is why most people, when they MLM, they don't see people that have been successful. They just think, oh, they got lucky. I guarantee you that mine for the last 40 years has not been luck. It has been growth, continuing to grow and grow and grow. And in our world, gang, the reason you get paid in the marketplace is because you bring value to the market. And the more value you bring to the market, the more you start to get paid because your value has increased to more people. And that is why people vote with their dollars. And it's not because of what you do specifically, it's the value you bring to more people. And as we grow as people, we bring more value to more people. That's why CEOs tend to make more money than entry-level employees. What they do has more value to the organization and more value to the company and all of its customers, and that's why they make more money. So it's very simple. If you get past all of the emotion around it, it's a very simple business. It's like a micro franchise, if you will. Hey, we got a bunch of people that have micro franchises. Let's go help the ones that want to make money. Make money. Now, do you want to make a little bit or a lot of it? That's really what it comes down to.
So step one, if people want to try this, they get back to the person who referred them, and they say, hey, I'm in. Let's do this. They go through the process. They become a rep. What's next? I mean, there's where do they go from there?
Yeah. In my opinion, personal opinion only, I just think, well, what is it you got in for? Are you just in to try the product? Great, let's get you that. Are you somebody who wants to need some health benefit, and we walk through that? We can talk through that. Are you somebody that wants to create income? Yes, I just did it 2 hours ago with a family that I was with. How much money do you want to make, and when do you want to make it? When do you need it? And so we had that conversation. That was a different thing. This is a different activity level. So we got to know why people are in, and then direct them to the tools that we have and put a plan together to then go work. But people don't do this by themselves. You have a whole team of support. If somebody has invited you on here, I can guarantee you that they're there to support you. Not only them, but they have a whole team of people that are there to support you. So we walk people through it. Step 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's what we're going to go do. And so it was just like with you, Scott, Chris. I don't know why I keep doing that.
Everyone does.
Just like with you, a month and a half ago, when we first started talking about even doing a podcast, a bunch of people have come in, and I've been saying, hey, let's do this. We need to go to the next step. That's what we're talking about, gang. We support people. We don't leave them out to try to figure this out on their own. And so we can do that very, very simply to help people get what they want.
Just so you know, folks, I believe that Terry might be the top. Are you the top earner or one of the top earners in MPG?
Top earner.
Is it safe to say that you really don't need to do this?
Wow.
Like, I mean, if you just stopped doing this today and you lived your life, you would be fine, I'm assuming.
That is correct.
Financially.
Yeah, that's correct.
Now, the reason I wanted to get that on the table is because I want you people. Oh, here we go, Don Cherry. I want everyone to know that Terry spends all week doing Zoom meetings, and if you want to build a team, you send Terry a message, say, hey, I want to bring these people. We need to share some stuff with them. I need your help. He's on it. He does it. And that's pretty amazing because, you in what world does the top earner in a company go to the lunchroom and help the person on the factory floor do their job? That doesn't happen, but that's what's happening here. And if Terry has been as successful as he has been, And he's the one that's going to mentor you on how you could do that. You don't even have to reinvent the wheel. You literally have to listen and replicate what he's done. And that's what I'm doing. I went through the first 3 weeks thinking I could just be an island. I'll just sign people up. Everything's good. And Terry, you're like, Chris, we got to talk to these people. We got to find out who wants to build and build. And I'm busy. I just do my own thing. And then one day it dawned on me. I was like, wait a minute. Why would I not take your offer on that with what you've built? So now that's what I'm doing. And you get that too, folks. When you come in, it's not just like, hey, we want you to buy something. It's no. If you want to buy something, great, we'll help you do that, like Terry said. But if you want to build something, that's what we're going to do. And that's the difference here between probably anything else you've done in your life. And I'm already seeing results from the people on my team. I'm seeing results from the people who sponsored me. Like, things are improving, and it's just because they're following the instructions that are already there. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. It's like everything else in life. We are all a result of the choices we've made.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Chris, every one of us, I know people will argue this. Every single one of us is exactly where we want to be. Exactly. Now, here's why I say that. Because you and I have made every choice that we have made to bring us to where we are. Now, some people will argue that, but it's the truth, because choices have destinations. The beautiful part of that is we can make different choices and change our station in life if we want to. And this is one of the great truths of life, is that we have the capacity to change. Back to that, being created in the image of a creator that is creative. And we have the capacity to change, and we can do things differently. But we've got to get around different thinking, different vehicles that allow for whatever life you want. And this might not be for you, 100% might not be for you. But whatever it is you want, what you see for your life, start to pursue that dream. Life is short. Pursue something. Have purpose. Have passion. Do something, and not just kind of float along, because you only get so many days here. So this can be a thing that can change lives. We've already watched it do that. It can change your life, the you person that's watching this today, and it can change your life. But it's just a matter of diving in. It's like every other job in the world, Chris. I look at it this way, because every job I ever started, it like I walk in on day one and you have no idea what to do, and then you get some information, you come back in on day two and you're kind of lost. And at some point, though, you keep showing up and you walk in one day and all of a sudden you're like, I got this. I don't know how long that is, probably depends on the job, but it could be a week, it could be a month, whatever. I'm just saying there's that time where you're like, you own it now. And it's the same thing here. You got to learn some things, which are not difficult. But you got to learn some things, start to act on those and do some of those things. And then it's like, okay, I've got this. And at that point, now you're off to a new life. So that's what we just encourage people to just join us. And if you want to just try the products, man, just try the products and watch what they do in your own life. If you want to go create income, it's a different activity level that's necessary for that.
Yeah, well, from what I've seen, it appears as though it's definitely worth it. I've been watching the comments and the questions. You've answered just about all of the questions that have come up. There's quite a few people that are very grateful for what you're doing, Terry, and they seem to like you quite a bit. So that's always nice to see. There was a comment in one of the platforms about tragedy that happened in BC. Yeah. And I do want to just take a minute to, I don't know what to say. There was a terrible thing happened in BC. Kids died, and even I watched you, Terry. I saw the moment when you saw that in the comments, and it always takes us back. But there's a lot of bad and there's a lot of evil in the world, for sure, 100%. And there really is only one solution for that. It's not a political solution. It's not anything that you're going to elect your way out of. It's a spiritual solution. Yeah. So I would say that if if things like that are tugging on your heartstrings, then you probably should be getting back in touch with your spiritual side, because that's the only thing that's ever going to change that type of thing. And I don't want to say too much more about it. You guys are going to see it in the news over the next few weeks, but that's the reality. That's where we're at.
Yeah, and I think also, that's a real thing. I haven't seen anything about it down here, but meaning down in Australia, but at least not yet. I would say, Chris, we should chat again in a month, because we will be able to share some things in a month that probably shouldn't just share just yet. But by that time, we will have some things out in the public square at that point that will make a huge difference for a lot of people. And I'll just leave it there for right now. But we should schedule whatever March something to be back on this, because we're going to be able to talk about some things that are really going to, I think, excite a lot of people.
Yeah, and when I heard about that was the motivating factor for me to go to the Momentum event, because that's early access on that. And from what I'm hearing, it's going to be life-changing for a lot of people. So excited for that.
Yeah.
And sorry, in the questions, there is some questions in the comments about what this does, what it is, that type of thing. I'm not going to go into that right now. Check out the QR code. I've written articles about it. Terry and I have done a couple of previous podcast webinars. I did a couple with Alison Beeler, one with Dr. Kareem Griffith, a pharmacist who is in with pHix as well. So lots of information out there. We're already over an hour, so we got to kind of wrap it up here. So if you want to know more about it, that's where you find it. If you want to know more about the business side, I would suggest that probably be a good idea just to get signed up and get rolling on it, and attend one of the many Zooms that Terry puts on. Other people do as well, and then just start grinding and get into it. Well, what better way to learn, right?
It is how you do it, but we take you by the hand and do it with you. That's the thing. And you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. You might have heard that before, but that's a real thing. It's why we put together all the platforms we have. We won't go into right now, but there's just a lot available to each and every person who wants to go create some income.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. Like I mentioned before, folks, if you're interested, get back to the person who referred you to this webinar, and they'll help you through the process. If it was me, I'll be going through the comments and messaging any of you who are asking for more info. I do suggest, if you're not, like a computer nerd like me, set aside some time and I'll help you through the whole process. So I'll stay on the phone with you and do it. It's a intuitive process, but it's not as forward as maybe it could be. So I'm always willing to help with that. And again, if you need more information on it, you know where to find it, and you know how to get a hold of me. So thank you very much, Terry. I appreciate you taking the time, and I look forward to our next one to talk about not only what we've built since then, but what's new and about to enter the market. Cool stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on, Chris. Appreciate you, man.
You bet. Take care, Terry.
Bye. God bless y'all.
You as well. Well, there you have it, folks. 1 hour and 10 minutes to say this is a real thing. It does different things for different people. The opportunity is great. There are more things than just this one product. For example, I use some non-poisonous things, like non-poisonous laundry soap that doesn't try and kill you. You can get that through here too. Some other health products, some greens that have awesome stuff in there, health thingies. I'm not going to get into it right now. Great multivitamin, deodorant that doesn't kill you. So it's not just the one thing. We talk about the one thing because that one thing, pHix, the matured bitter hop extract, is the it's the most exciting product, and it's what actually changed this company and built it to what it is today. And you can be part of that. Like we said, 85,000 people globally use this. The alternative health industry, the natural health industry is set to double by 2030. So, there's a lot of potential here, not just for your own health and helping other people with their health as well, but for building something and building some income, which we all certainly need. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and look forward to some clips that I'll put up over the next few days. You can share them with your friends, share this webinar, whatever you want to do with it. I'm fine with it. And let's build something together. Good night. Meow. Did you know that plants aren't the alternative? They're actually the original.